Welcome back to our channel Numisma Hub, where we uncover the hidden treasures inside everyday pocket change. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins from American history. Top 4. First up, for the 1972 United States Kennedy half dollar. Many collectors and coin enthusiasts often overlook this year, but certain rare varieties of the 1972 Kennedy half dollar can fetch thousands of dollars in today's market. So, if you have one in your coin collection or lying around in your drawers, you might be sitting on a small fortune. The Kennedy half dollar was first introduced in 1964 as a tribute to President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination in November 1963. Americans adored Kennedy, and this coin quickly became a symbol of respect, hope, and remembrance. By 1972, the coin had already become a popular collector's item, even though it was still being produced for circulation. Millions were struck, but only a select few carry the kind of rarity and value that can make you rich overnight. To understand why the 1972 Kennedy half dollar is so valuable, you first need to know about its composition and background. Unlike the 1964 version, which was made of 90% silver, the 1972 half dollar was struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition. This means it doesn't contain silver in its regular strike, but don't let that fool you. It's not the metal that gives this coin its massive worth. It's the rarity, errors, and special varieties that collectors crave. The 1972 Kennedy half dollar was minted in 3 major locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia mint coins carry no mint mark, the Denver mint coins carry a small D mark, and the San Francisco mint produced both proof coins and some special issues marked with an S. Altogether, hundreds of millions were minted, but only a few rare errors and high-grade specimens make collectors' jaws drop at auctions. One of the most famous varieties is the 1972 D Kennedy half dollar with the no FG error. FG refers to the initials of coin designer Frank Gasparo, which are normally located on the reverse, near the eagle's tail feathers. Due to striking issues or excessive polishing of the die, some coins show no visible FG initials at all. These error coins are extremely desirable and have sold for big money. For example, a 1972 D Kennedy half dollar missing the FG initials in high grade can easily sell for over $1,000. In mint state condition, collectors are willing to pay thousands, depending on the grade and eye appeal of the coin. What might look like a simple missing detail to the average person is, in reality, a gold mine for serious collectors. Another valuable factor is the condition of the coin. Collectors and grading companies like PCS and NGC use a 70-point scale to evaluate coins. A coin that grades mint state 67 or higher is extremely rare for a 1972 Kennedy half dollar, and these pristine examples can sell for several $1,000s at auction. Even coins graded around MS65 can be worth hundreds. Proof versions of the 1972 Kennedy half dollar, struck at the San Francisco Mint, are also highly collectible. While most proof coins are not considered rare because they were sold to collectors, certain varieties, such as those with cameo or deep cameo finishes, can bring in much higher prices. A flawless proof with a deep cameo designation can easily reach into the hundreds of dollars. But the real money lies in the error coins. Apart from the famous no FG error, there are also double die obverse varieties, where the lettering and details appear doubled. These coins are very rare and can command premium values. Collectors are always on the lookout for such unusual pieces because they represent mistakes that should never have left the mint. Now let's talk numbers. While the average 1972 Kennedy half dollar found in circulation may only be worth its face value of 50 cents, rare varieties and errors can jump dramatically in price. For example, an ordinary circulated 1972 half dollar may sell for $1 or $2 to casual collectors, but a high-grade mint state or error coin can soar past $2,000 or even higher depending on the market demand. At auctions, some 1972 D no FG Kennedy half dollars have sold for over $5,000 when certified by PCS or NGC in high grades. That's an incredible jump from a coin most people think is just pocket change. This shows how important it is to carefully check every coin you come across, especially if it's a Kennedy half-dollar from the early 1970s. Collectors are also fascinated with the historical connection of the Kennedy half-dollar. Owning a coin like the 1972 half-dollar is not just about its monetary value. It's about holding a piece of American history in your hands. The coin tells a story of a nation mourning a fallen president, while also showcasing the artistry and craftsmanship of U.S. coinage. Many beginners in coin collecting often wonder if they can find these valuable 1972 half-dollars in circulation today. The truth is, it's rare, but not impossible. While most of the valuable specimens are already in collector hands, rolls of half-dollars from banks or estate sales sometimes yield surprising treasures. That's why so many collectors still hunt these coins passionately. Another thing to keep in mind is that condition matters more than anything else. Even if you find a 1972 half-dollar with an error, its value depends heavily on how well it has been preserved. A coin with scratches, dents, or heavy wear will always sell for less than a coin with sharp details and a clean surface. To maximize the value of your 1972 Kennedy half-dollar, it's always a good idea to have it graded by a professional service. PCGS, NGC, or ANAX can authenticate and grade the coin, giving it official certification. This makes it much more appealing to serious collectors and can dramatically increase its selling price at auction or private sale. Another hidden gem is the 1972 S-proof silver Kennedy half-dollar. While most 1972 coins were copper-nickel clad, some proof versions were made in 40% silver. These special issues were sold directly to collectors, and while not as rare as era coins, they still command premium prices when found in perfect condition. Collectors often say that the Kennedy half-dollar series is one of the most exciting because it offers something for everyone, from beginners to experts. The 1972 issue, in particular, is a standout year because of its errors, high-grade rarities, and unique varieties. It represents the perfect balance between history, rarity, and value. What may have sold for a few $120 years ago is now selling for thousands today. This upward trend makes the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar an excellent coin to hold onto as a long-term investment. So, the next time you come across a Kennedy half-dollar, don't just toss it aside or spend it as change. Take a close look at the year, the mint mark, and the tiny details like the FG initials. That small observation could be the difference between 50 cents and a life-changing payday. In conclusion, the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar may seem ordinary at first glance, but in reality, it holds some of the most valuable varieties in modern U.S. coinage. With era coins like the No FG variety, high-grade mint states, and rare proofs, this coin can easily make you rich overnight if you happen to own the right one. Always check your coins carefully, because you never know. The next big treasure might be sitting right in your pocket. Next up, the 1973 P. Kennedy half-dollar. While many half-dollars from the 1970s are considered common pocket change, certain examples of the 1973 Philadelphia Mint issue are so rare and valuable that they could make you rich overnight. So, let's uncover why this coin is so special and how much it could be worth in today's market. The Kennedy half-dollar was introduced in 1964, just months after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The U.S. Mint rushed the design into circulation as a way to honor the fallen president, and it quickly became one of the most iconic coins in American history. By 1973, the half-dollar had already gone through several changes, especially in its metal composition. Originally, Kennedy half-dollars minted in 1964 were struck in 90% silver. From 1965 to 1970, the composition was reduced to 40% silver. However, by 1971, the U.S. Mint completely removed silver from circulation strikes, replacing it with a copper-nickel clad composition. This means that the 1973 P. Kennedy half-dollar is not silver, it's a clad coin. But its value doesn't come from the metal. Instead, it comes from rarity, condition, and collector demand. Now, here's the interesting part. The 1973 Kennedy half-dollar was not released into general circulation. That's right. Most of these coins were produced strictly for U.S. Mint sets. This makes them much scarcer compared to half-dollars from other years that freely circulated. Many Americans never saw a 1973 half-dollar in their pocket change, and this adds a layer of exclusivity. The Philadelphia Mint, which is represented by the P mint mark in modern times, actually did not place a mint mark on circulation coins in 1973. So when we refer to the 1973 P. Kennedy half dollar, we are talking about coins minted in Philadelphia without a mint mark. That small detail is what makes identifying this coin essential for collectors. When it comes to numbers, the Philadelphia Mint struck 64 million half dollars in 1973. While that may seem like a high mintage, remember that most were tucked away in mint sets and never spent. Many of those coins have been lost, damaged, or mishandled over the decades, making high-grade survivors quite valuable today. The real money lies in condition. Collectors pay top dollar for examples that grade MS 65, MS 66, or higher. In pristine, gem-quality condition, the 1973 P. Kennedy half dollar can fetch thousands of dollars at auction. Even more shocking, era coins or exceptionally high-grade specimens can skyrocket in value, with some rare cases reaching tens of thousands. One of the most famous varieties of this coin is the no-FG variety. This refers to coins where the designer Frank Gasparo's initials, FG, located on the reverse near the eagle's tail feathers, are missing due to dye polishing. These no-FG coins are highly sought after and can easily command four-figure prices in the collector's market. Another factor to consider is that coin grading plays a massive role in determining value. A 1973 Kennedy half dollar in circulated condition might only be worth 50 cents to $1. But once you reach mint state grades, the price climbs dramatically. An MS 65 could bring $50 to $150, while an MS 67 can easily cross into the $1,000 to $2,000 range, depending on demand. Record-breaking sales have shown just how much this coin can surprise collectors. For instance, some pristine examples graded by PCS or NGC have sold at auctions for over $5,000, and rare era versions have gone even higher. It truly depends on how flawless and unique your coin is. So, what should you look for in your 1973 Kennedy half dollar? First, check for sharp details and minimal scratches. Next, look closely at the reverse for the FG initials. If they're missing or faint, you may be holding a valuable era coin. And of course, if you believe your coin is in exceptional condition, getting it professionally graded could multiply its worth. Collectors love the 1973 half dollar, not only for its scarcity, but also for its place in U.S. history. By this point, the Kennedy half dollar had already become a symbol of honor and remembrance, and each issue carried with it the legacy of President Kennedy. This cultural significance adds to the coin's desirability and long-term value. It's also worth noting that the U.S. Mint stopped including Kennedy half dollars in circulation rolls after 1970. By 1973, most Americans had already stopped using half dollars in daily commerce. That means finding one in your change was extremely unlikely, which only increased the mystique of owning one. Many coin experts predict that as time goes on, the 1973 Kennedy half dollar, especially the Philadelphia Mint issue, will continue to grow in value. As fewer high-grade examples remain available, demand will push prices even higher. This is why it's considered one of the sleepers of the series, a coin that could catch many people by surprise. For anyone inheriting a coin collection, the 1973 Kennedy half dollar is a key date to watch out for. Families often discover them in old mint sets stored away for decades, and those hidden treasures can sometimes turn into a serious payday if the coins are in great shape. Another important tip: always store your half dollars properly. A coin that sits unprotected in a drawer will develop scratches, spots, or tarnish, which significantly reduces its value. Collectors use coin flips, holders, or albums to preserve condition, and this small step can mean the difference between a $20 coin and a $2,000 coin. When we talk about coins that could make you rich overnight, the 1973 P. Kennedy half dollar definitely belongs on the list. While not every coin from this year is worth a fortune, the rare high-grade and era varieties are where the big money lies. Imagine discovering that a coin you thought was only worth 50 cents is actually a multi-thousand-dollar treasure. So, if you come across a 1973 Kennedy half dollar, don't ignore it. Take a closer look, consider professional grading, and you might be holding a coin that changes your life. After all, stories of everyday people finding rare and valuable coins in their collections are what make this hobby so exciting. And that brings us to the end of today's deep dive into the 1973 P. Kennedy half dollar. From its unique history to its jaw-dropping auction prices, this coin proves that even modern-era U.S. coinage can hold incredible value. It's not just about the silver or the mintage numbers. It's about rarity, condition, and collector demand. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with fellow coin enthusiasts. Who knows, you might inspire someone else to check their coin collection and find the next hidden gem. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy collecting. Next up today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in U.S. history, the 1977 Kennedy half dollar. While most people might see this coin as just pocket change, certain rare versions can be worth big money in today's market and could potentially make you rich overnight. The Kennedy half dollar has always been one of America's most iconic coins. First introduced in 1964, it was created to honor the late President John F. Kennedy, just a few months after his tragic assassination. Its design, history, and symbolism made it instantly popular with the public. By 1977, the coin was still being produced in large numbers, but not every piece that left the U.S. Mint was the same. Small differences, errors, and unique mint conditions have turned some 1977 Kennedy half dollars into rare collector's treasures worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars today. In 1977, Kennedy half dollars were struck at two main mints, Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia mint coins carry no mint mark, while the Denver mint coins feature a small D mint mark located just below Kennedy's neck on the coin's obverse side. More than 43 million half dollars were struck in 1977 across both mints, which makes the coin seem pretty common at first glance. But as every collector knows, rarity isn't always about mintage. It's about condition, errors, and demand. The coin is made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, not silver. Silver had been eliminated from regular circulation, half dollars, after 1970. However, its large size and striking design made it remain popular with collectors even without silver content. Now, here's where it gets exciting. A standard 1977 Kennedy half dollar in circulated condition is usually worth just its face value of 50 cents. But coins in pristine, mint state condition can fetch much more. Collectors especially seek out coins graded MS65 or higher by professional grading companies like PGS or NGC. In these conditions, a 1977 Kennedy half dollar can easily sell for $50 to $200, depending on demand. But the real money comes from coins that are nearly flawless, those graded MS67 or MS68. These are extremely rare, and some examples have sold at auction for $2,000 to $5,000 or more. Beyond condition, era coins are where the true jackpots are. In 1977, a few Kennedy half dollars were struck with major minting mistakes. Examples include off-center strikes, double die errors, or clip planchets. These rare mistakes can make a simple 50-cent piece skyrocket in value. Depending on the error and its severity, a 1977 Kennedy half dollar error coin could sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. For instance, a dramatic off-center strike where part of the design is missing can bring in over $1,000. A bold double die error with doubled letters or numbers on the date or liberty could also sell for big money. Although regular 1977 proof coins were not officially released in silver, collectors still chase special proof-like strikes and high-quality proof coins that come in sealed government sets. A proof 1977 Kennedy half dollar in deep cameo condition can sell for $50 to $150, but in perfect condition, the prices can be much higher. These coins are popular because of their mirror-like fields and frosted designs. The Kennedy half dollar series remains one of the most collected coin series in U.S. history. That demand keeps prices strong for rare and high-grade coins, especially for years like 1977 where mint state and era coins are hard to find. In today's market, coin auctions have shown just how valuable these coins can be. Some of the most stunning 1977 Kennedy half dollars, graded MS67 or higher, have reached five-figure prices, depending on collector interest. If you have a 1977 Kennedy half dollar, the first step is to check its mint mark and condition. Look closely for any errors, unusual details, or doubling in the lettering. For serious value, you want to get your coin professionally graded. A small investment in grading could reveal that your pocket change is actually worth thousands. Also, remember that storing your coins properly is crucial. Coins should be kept in protective holders to prevent scratches, tarnish, or damage. The better the condition, the higher the value. So there you have it, the 1977 Kennedy half dollar, a coin that may look ordinary but can hide extraordinary value. Whether it's a flawless mint state piece, a rare proof strike, or an eye-catching mint error, this coin has the potential to be worth big money. Who knows? You might already have a small fortune sitting in your collection, or even in your spare change jar. Next up, where we dive deep into the world of rare and valuable coins that could change your life overnight. Today, we're going to talk about a coin that many collectors overlook, but could be worth a fortune in the right condition, the 1985 P. Kennedy half dollar. This simple 50-cent piece might be sitting in your collection or pocket change, and you'll want to know just how valuable it can be. The Kennedy half dollar series has been a favorite among collectors since its debut in 1964, following the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Over the decades, certain years and mint marks have skyrocketed in value. The 1985 P, struck in Philadelphia, is one of those coins that has surprised collectors with its rarity in high grades. Now, you may be thinking, how could a 1985 coin be worth anything significant? After all, it's not ancient. But here's the secret. While millions of 1985 P. Kennedy half dollars were minted, finding one in pristine, untouched condition is incredibly rare, and that rarity drives up the value. In fact, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 19 million of these coins in 1985. That might sound like a massive number, but the majority of these coins went straight into circulation. They picked up scratches, wear, and damage along the way, making high-grade, uncirculated pieces exceptionally scarce. For collectors, the condition of a coin is everything. A coin that looks like it just rolled out of the mint presses can be worth hundreds or even thousands of times more than the same coin in worn condition. This is where the 1985 P. Kennedy half dollar shines for investors and collectors alike. The most important factor when evaluating this coin is its grade, determined by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a flawless, perfect coin. For the 1985 P. Kennedy half dollar, examples in mint state 65 or higher are where the big money starts to appear. Circulated examples of the 1985 P generally trade for face value, just 50 cents, because they're so common. But here's where things get exciting. Uncirculated and high-grade certified examples can be worth hundreds, and in rare cases, thousands of dollars. For example, a 1985 P. Kennedy half dollar graded MS-67 has sold at auction for over $1,000. Imagine turning a simple 50-cent coin into a payday worth more than $1,000. That's the kind of dream collectors live for. But it doesn't stop there. The true jackpot lies in coins graded MS-68, which are almost unheard of. These coins display near-perfect luster, flawless surfaces, and virtually no contact marks. A 1985 P. Kennedy half dollar in this condition has fetched prices well over $4,000 at auctions. Think about that for a moment. One coin, originally worth 50 cents, turning into $4,000 or more. That's why people say coin collecting can make you rich overnight, if you know what to look for. One key thing to note is that most 1985 P. Kennedy half dollars will show signs of weakness in the strike. The Philadelphia Mint struggled during this time with sharpness and detail in the coins, meaning that a coin with a bold, strong strike is automatically rarer and more valuable. Collectors especially look for sharp details in Kennedy's hair, the eagle's feathers on the reverse, and overall brilliance of the surfaces. If your coin shows crisp details and little to no wear, you could be holding a gem. Another factor that adds value is toning. Some coins naturally develop rainbow-like colors over time due to how they were stored. If your 1985 P. Kennedy half dollar has beautiful, eye-catching toning along with high-grade quality. The value can skyrocket even further. It's also worth mentioning that proof coins were made in 1985, but they were struck at the San Francisco Mint, not Philadelphia. So, if you come across a proof coin with a mirror-like surface, it won't have the P Mint mark. It will have an S. But for today's video, we're focusing strictly on the Philadelphia issue. When selling or buying one of these coins, always check the latest auction records. Prices can fluctuate depending on the market, demand, and the number of collectors chasing after these elusive high-grade examples. What makes the 1985 P so special is not just the rarity of high-grade examples, but also its place in history. By the mid-1980s, the Kennedy half dollar was no longer used heavily in everyday commerce, making pristine examples even harder to find since most people didn't save them. If you're sitting at home wondering whether you might have one of these treasures, the best step is to carefully examine your coin under good lighting. Look for sharp details, a lack of scratches, and brilliant luster. If you think it's exceptional, consider sending it to a grading service. Professional grading can be the difference between a coin worth 50 cents and a coin worth thousands. Collectors and buyers trust certified grades, and having that official label can give you maximum profit when selling. So, to sum it up, the 1985 P. Kennedy half dollar might look like just another pocket change coin, but in top condition, it's a treasure that can fetch big money. From $1,000 to $4,000 and beyond, these coins prove that modern issues can still be incredibly valuable. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the world of the 1985 P. Kennedy half dollar. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that could make you rich overnight, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Who knows, the next coin you find might just be your ticket to fortune.